Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the next episode of Mouthwash. I forgot my own podcast for a minute. Um, Sorry, got a little late today. I had, um, I was getting the pictures and some other stuff ready for today's stream. Do you like the new overlay? Um, so this is not the end of it. I've also got this. Hello. I guess welcome to the new look of mouthwash. Um, I really like this overlay pack. I've been messing around with it for a couple days since last stream. Um, so this is where we are now, at least. I'm going to try to personalize. I haven't finished doing everything I'm going to do to it. I'm going to try to change this as much as I can because I don't want this to look exactly like I just ripped it from the pack that I bought. Um, so yeah, here we are. Mouthwash logo probably won't change, but I'll somehow integrate it into um, the new overlay for this. Um, so we are here and we have got some things to talk about. If anyone out there has watched anything that's been on the internet recently, you will know what one thing we'll talk about. Um, I'm not going to start us off with that though. I am going to start us off with something that I find to be interesting because I did not entirely expect its existence to be continued. So, first thing we're going to talk about is the new Mustang. And I absolutely love the look of it. It is beautiful. The interior is beautiful. The outside is pretty. The like back quarter panel with the brake lights and the new sequential blinker and the new sequential headlight are just absolutely top A game in my mind. I'm in love 110%. It is such a good looking car, especially with black rims. I absolutely love cars with black rims. That's just my personal preference. And even like this without the spoiler on, it still looks like such a good car. Um, it really makes me, question my full and unbeknownst, you know, loyalty to Japanese automakers. Because I would buy one of these, but I would buy the EcoBoost because I'm not a masochist and I don't care about it having a V8. I don't care. I just want to drive a Mustang. I'm not gonna be taking this on the tracks. I don't have, an ego that I need to boost and fill up with my own, brain to fill a V8's displacement. Um, Dispation? Wow. Displation. Good lord, I cannot talk today. I still can't talk. A couple points I want to talk about. It is surprisingly not an EV. In a world of everyone swapping to EVs, remember we talked about this last stream. In a world of everyone swapping to EVs, this is not an EV. Which surprised me. I thought that they would bring out an EV right from the bat, and it would be bad. So, my thought is that usually what happens with cars like this, and they did it, GM did it with the Corvette. The first year, you put out a base model, lowest tier trim that you can buy for the masses. and the hype is big because it's a new model. So this is a new Mustang. It's a new Mustang, and everyone's freaking out about it. Everyone will want to buy one. But once the hype of the new Mustang starts to drop down, they release the next trim. So GM did this with the Corvette. So the Corvette, amazing, everyone bought one, then hype started to die, then they released the Stingray, and then so on and so forth. So my thought is that in a couple years, a handful of years, maybe 2 or 3 years, they will bring out a Mustang EV or hybrid. Either both or most likely a pure EV, because I would not expect them to throw a hybrid in it, but I can dream that they would make an EV or a hybrid Mustang. So obviously Ford recognized the backlash from the Mach-E, and making this right now as a pure start off combustion engine is an attempt to regain some support that they lost by taking the Mustang nameplate and putting it on the Mach-E. I don't care about performance. That's you. There are other people on the internet that will talk about that. I don't care. I love the design. The interior is beautiful. I would buy one. I don't have enough money for one, but I would 100% buy one. Speaking of Ford, and speaking of this, I'm going to talk about the next thing on the docket, which is the Ford Evos. The Ford Evos is a pure EV. It's a plug-in EV. Right now, it is purely just in the Chinese market. Ford is selling it only in the Chinese market. My expectation, and I love the look of it too. If this was a regular combustion engine or a hybrid, I would buy one. This is beautiful. So, right now, Ford does not have any plans. They've said this outright. They do not have any plans to bring this to the U.S. or North America. But, sorry. If they brought this to the U.S., I think that it would fall in the Edge segment, because Ford says that after the 2023 model year, which is this model year pretty much until November of next year, Ford's going to kill the Edge and the Edge's Lincoln counterpart, which is the Lincoln Nautilus. That leaves a gap in Ford's lineup between the Mustang, the Escape, and the Explorer and the Expedition. There's a gap between the Escape and the Explorer. So I don't count the Mach-E as fitting in here, because the Mach-E is kind of a luxury level car. And this is too. Clearly, obviously, it's a luxury. I mean, it's gonna be expensive. It's not gonna be as inexpensive as like a RAV4 is, but clearly because it's a stupid electric car. I think that Ford will bring this to North America, and it'll slot in really nicely between the Escape and the Explorer. They'll probably build them in Mexico, in the plants that build the Bronco and all of that, the Bronco lineup. I think they'll build that here, because I think that's where they build, or they'll probably build them where they build the Mach-E as well. I don't mind the look of it. It's based on the Fusion, the new Fusion, or Ford Mondeo that we're not getting in North America, because Ford has realized that they don't make enough money to support financing, sedans in North America anymore. So it's based on the Ford Mondeo slash Fusion. Um, it's another damn fucking mid-sized SUV. For Christ's sake, can we stop making 8,000 cars that fit in the same segment? I mean, literally Ford has two cars that already fit in the same segment. They have the Escape and the Bronco Sport. Why would you make now a third car from the same manufacturer that fit in the same bracket? At at this point, it's like trying to make one car for every person instead of making a Swiss Army knife. Yes, obviously, history says that trying to make something that is meeting the expectations of more than one party is not good. See the Pontiac Aztek. The Aztek was trying to be a family car, but also an off-road car. I loved the Aztek. The Aztek looked cool. If GM remade the Aztek and made it look like the first gen Mitsubishi crossover Eclipse, or the Mitsubishi Eclipse crossover with the split back window, I would buy one. But my point stands that the original Aztek was shitty in sales because it was trying to do more than one thing at a time. What Ford has realized, and what most American automakers, not Japanese automakers, what American automakers have realized, that for some fucking reason, Americans want to buy a car specifically just for them. They don't, and I'm an American. I'm clearly an American. Apparently, in automakers' minds, Americans want to buy a car that specifically caters to them and their needs. So instead of having a car that can do many things, a family transport, weekend getaway car, semi, all season car that won't get stuck in a tiny snowdrift on the side of the street, Ford has decided upon itself to make everyone unique. So everyone who buys a Ford is going to have a different car. Obviously, clearly, people are going to buy the same car, but making three of the same car, in Ford's mind, gives more people the ability to get something specifically for them. I hate that, because that drives up costs. Do you know how expensive it is? Obviously, buying a car is expensive, but look at it from the reverse side. Do you know how expensive it is to R&D design a car? It is so astronomically expensive to design a car, have focus groups look at the car, have it pass NHTCA or NHT. What the fuck am I thinking about? National Highway Traffic Safety Administration standards, where they ram it into other cars and stuff. You have to now get contracts with private companies to build the things for your car. Ford is an automaker. Ford, pretty much all Ford does is assembles the car under the Ford name. But everything else that's in the car is pretty much made by other companies. So the headlights of the car, yes, are designed by Ford, but some random other company makes the headlights and then puts them in containers, ships them to Ford. Ford takes them out of the containers and puts them on a car when it's rolling off the assembly line. Ford is spending so much money developing multiple cars to fit niche needs that it drives the prices of everything up, because that cost of designing multiple cars drives the cost of those cars up, because Ford has to pass the design cost and time it spent designing these cars onto the consumer. Take Toyota, for example. I'm a Toyota fanboy. Take me out back and shoot me, whatever. Toyota waits for everyone else to make the first move. RCR Regular Car Reviews had a really good video that talked about this. It was the RAV4 Prime that he talked about this in. Toyota waits for everyone else to take the first move. That is why so many people who are blind and dumb are looking at Toyota and calling Toyota stupid for not joining in the EV or BEV crowd. But Toyota waits for everyone else to spend all of their money chasing idiotic ideas that they think is going to work. Toyota watches something become vaguely successful. Toyota copies that, redesigns it, and makes it better. The Tesla Model Y is of no competition to the RAV4 Prime. The RAV4 Prime is infinitely better than the Tesla Model Y because Toyota has the ability to sit back and wait with the amount of money they have and design a car that is perfect. Now, obviously, every car has its problems, but the RAV4, Toyota is so particular about making everything perfect that there is so little wrong with the RAV4. The body lines, when everything gets put together, Toyota is so particular about the perfection of every single car. I mean, you've seen a couple years ago, and even still now, Tesla putting out cars with gaps in the bodywork. I mean, that's because Tesla has to rush to market because Elon runs his company by making memes, and the stock price goes up and down depending on how well that meme works. So, which is a shitty business practice, and that's why we don't support Tesla on this channel. But everyone else, or the smart automakers, wait for everyone else to spend their money chasing dreams until they actually find something that works. Toyota doesn't need to sit around and spend a ton of money figuring out if autonomous vehicles are the next thing, or if battery electric cars are going to become mainstream, because Toyota doesn't need to. Toyota's sitting around and waiting for everyone else to make the first move. And again, that leaves Toyota behind. Usually Lexus products are like they look and feel a generation or two behind everyone else. So compare like a Lexus RX to anything from Mercedes and BMW and stuff like that. There's no comparison. BMW and Mercedes are more luxurious, they have more features, yada yada. But Lexus/Toyota, same thing. Lexus and Toyota products are built to last. Toyota spends that time not being on the bleeding cutting edge of anything in the auto industry to spend the time developing something that will last. My RAV4 may not be I don't have a RAV4 Prime, but my RAV4 may not be the most luxurious, most tech forward, and amazing car. I really love the design of my car. I like my car because it's going to last over 300,000 miles. Unlike a Mercedes where you need to take it to the dealership every 5 minutes. My car, I get its oil changed by I don't even go to the dealership. I get my oil change, and that's pretty much all I need to do to my car. If I keep my RAV4 up to the service manual, I don't even have a hybrid. I have a regular RAV4. If I keep my RAV4 up to the service manual, it will last as long as I don't run it into a tree. Everything else, your EVs, your stupid, bleeding edge, cutting edge technology cars are going to last as long as the batteries warranty ends. Ford says, fuck you, you're not getting any more battery replacements. The car blows up and you die in a lithium battery fire. Because batteries lose their ability to hold charge over time. Battery electric cars are not the future. They're inefficient and not the way to go. Do not support battery electric cars. They are terrible for the environment. It costs so much CO2 to build an electric car. Do not support electric cars. If you want something vaguely close enough to being an electric car. Buy a hybrid. Buy a lithium-ion hybrid like a Prius. I will buy the next Prius when it comes out, as long as Toyota does not make the Prius an SUV. If Toyota keeps the Prius as a sedan hatchback, I will buy the next Prius because I love hybrids. Hybrids are still gasoline cars. The amount of regulations that are placed on combustion engine cars make them so efficient. Yes, obviously. Oil spills. The gas industry is terrible. Combustion engines make CO2. Yes. But compare that to the amount of CO2 it takes to produce an electric car, and what are you going to do with an electric car when it dies? What are you going to do with the battery? At this point, there is no sustainable, large-scale way to recycle a lithium-ion battery. There is no way. What are you going to do with a giant battery, or a giant, hundreds of batteries linked together? What are you going to do with that giant battery when the car dies? After it runs out on the warranty, I would not, even a Prius, even from my own beloved Toyota, I would not own the Prius past the warranty period. Because as soon as the battery dies, you're going to pay like $12,000 to have Toyota throw a new battery into it. Because if the battery dies, the car's useless. At least in a hybrid, depending on how it is, you can still vaguely get around if you have the gasoline engine. If your battery dies in your Tesla or in your stupid Ford Evos or your whatever, the car is dead. 100% dead. Your battery has lost charge because you charge it all the time. Fast charging an EV is the worst thing for it because it degrades the battery more than trickle or even slow charge. Level 2 charging is the best. Trickle charging is slow as shit, but it's the best at prolonging the life of your battery. Do not buy an electric car if you're smart. If you have stupid money and you're a stupid person and you want to buy a Tesla, you deserve to waste that $70,000 that will only last you about 5 or 6 years until the battery goes kaput and Tesla says, fuck you, you can't get a new one. Do not buy an electric car. Yes, quote unquote, you're saving the environment by buying an electric car. Just buy a hybrid or buy a regular combustion car. You know what the easiest way to solve the climate crisis is? Is to build a train. I'm not a car person. I mean, clearly I'm a car person. I like cars. But I don't want to have to drive a car. There shouldn't be an argument between electric and combustion cars. We should be building trains. That's the end of this conversation. Or the end of that point, at least. Don't buy an electric car. Please, I beg you. Do not buy an electric car. Don't buy a Tesla. Don't buy a... What is the other one I'm thinking about? Lucid. Don't buy a Lucid. Whatever, all of these stupid pop-up companies that are making stupid EV cars. Yes, Toyota has an EV, but I'm almost 110% certain I have not looked hard enough to find something about this, but I'm almost 110% certain that the only reason stuff like that exists is because there's environmental tax breaks that these companies can get for building electric cars. Do you really think that Ford would want to build an electric car? The petrol head, muscle meathead, muscle powder eating company that Ford is, with their big block V8s, do you really think that Ford wanted to make an electric car? No. Ford's lawyers siphoned through a bunch of government tax break programs, saw that there's one that said, hey, if you make an EV, every car, yada yada, probably you get an amount of money back in back taxes. They built a series of electric cars specifically just to get tax breaks. There is no reason in my mind that Ford would want to do it other than the stupid people who are progressing the EV market by demanding companies to build EVs because they think it's environmentally friendly. No. Stop it. Get some help. Build a train. Watch Alan Fisher's video on why EVs are bad. Stop supporting EVs. Do not support Tesla. Do not support companies like this that are just vaguely making EVs like this. I mean, obviously, again, this probably is going to come to the US. I don't mind the look of it. I would buy it if it was a regular car, if it was a regular combustion car. Of course, I don't have any fucking money. I wouldn't even be able to afford it. I can barely afford my RAV4, but still. Do not go out and buy a car specifically because the internet. And yes, I know, I understand you are watching me on the internet as well. I am not perfect. I do not stand on top of a pyramid of assailable truth. I fit into the same bracket I'm about to talk about. The stupid people who love Elon Musk and love Tesla and love all of the electric cars in the world are dumb. I assume that a couple of you probably thought that my next thought was they're being paid off by those companies. No, I'm not that big of a conspiracy theorist. I'm not even a conspiracy theorist at all. It's such a stupid thought process to think that electric cars are the future. Yes, in some cases, battery electric vehicles are, in a way, comparable to regular combustion engine cars and even hybrids. But to say that the future, every person in the US that owns a car is going to own an EV is idiotic. Because do you understand how much lithium it would take to make electric cars? To replace all of the cars in the United States? Just don't. Please. I beg you, do not buy an electric car. Our neighbor just bought a Tesla, and I'm so upset. Because now I have to walk out of my house every day and see a Model 3. Of course it's a Model 3 because, this is a middle-class neighborhood, and the Model 3 is the only Tesla you can barely afford, and I assume that they are on financing. Now I have to see a stupid Tesla parked in front of their house every day, plugged into their level 2 Tesla charger that they also installed when they bought the Tesla. And I see them. I mean, I live in a city of almost, I assume when the census comes out it'll be more than this, but 400,000 people live in Virginia Beach, and there's almost a little bit over 1 million people that live in Hampton Roads. And I see so many electric cars. I see so many EVs, and it makes me so upset because it's just a waste of money. You've literally spent $40,000 on a car that will last you like 4 years before the battery explodes and you die in an electric battery fire. Oh Lord, I just thought, don't even talk about fucking Chevy's shitty electric cars. I saw one of those the other day. I saw, forgot what it was, but it was, one of Chevy's stupid electric SUVs. And it just, I hate Chevy. I hate all American automakers. I hate Stellantis. I hate GM. I hate Ford. But really, out of all the things you're going to buy an electric car, you're going to buy it from GM. I was surprised that I was driving next to it and the car was not exploding or on fire and the people were locked in it and screaming and clawing at the windows because the car was on fire. I was so shocked that anything made by GM that involves electricity was driving at all. But I just I can't comprehend the thought process that people have when they outwardly and outright 100% support electric cars. The kind of people that make owning an electric car their entire personality. They go into a bar and they say, I own a Tesla. Like those kind of people that just live vicariously through their ownership of a Tesla. I do not see a Tesla or any electric car as a status symbol. I do not see someone roll up in a Tesla and go, "Ooh, look at how much money this person has." I go, "Ooh, look at how much money this person wasted that could have been spent on something else." It's just like luxury cars. Like anything Mercedes, BMW, even Lexus, um, Infiniti, Acura, stuff like that. It You're just buying a status symbol. I understand that old people buy those brands because they grew up with them and they were actual real brands, and um, they would they buy them because they feel like it's a name that they can trust. But nowadays, those cars are just carbon copies of their parent companies. So Lexuses are just carbon copies of Toyotas with a couple Lexus, flares stuck to them. Acura. Acuras are just Nissans with just a couple flares stuck to them. Or Honda, sorry. Acura is just a Honda with a couple flares stick to it. Infiniti is just a Nissan with a couple flares stuck to it. Buick, Escalade, or Buick, GMC, and Cadillac are just Chevys with a couple special bits stuck to it. Lincolns are just Fords with a couple shit stuck to it. Dodge and Jeep are just Chrysler Italian pieces of shit with American companies stuck to them. That's a mic drop for you. Don't buy an electric car. That was kind of the whole point of this part of the video. Don't buy an electric car. If you're really desperate, buy an EV, buy a Prius. I am in the very small minority of people that do not look at people that buy Priuses or hybrids as lower humans or subhumans that, you bought a Prius. No. Just stop. Please. I need a drink. Good Lord, hold on. Next thing I'm going to touch on. The news of the week. Insert, news, CNN sound. GTA 6. Now, before I go away from the EVOS, I'm going to completely plainly say I'm not going to show any video or any pictures of the leaked video because I don't want this taken down by Take-Two. So if you're here to look at that, that's not my problem. I'm just going to talk about it. So what I am going to show is just logos from Vice City. It is 100% confirmed from the leaked videos that it is set in Vice City. 100%. A lot of the pictures, specifically one to the stadium, that showed Vice City something, I forgot the team name was, the cops say VCPD, it's 100% Vice City. So, someone at Rockstar is probably going to get killed by upper management. I'm not going to talk about the gameplay, I'm not going to talk about the AI behavior, performance, or even the game engine, because it was a leaked video, it is during development, none of that is finalized. It looked like it was running poorly. Yes, I realize that. It's in development. They wouldn't bother making the game run well when they're still working on it. I am going to talk about the lighting engine, the player models, the map, and my current running theories that I have been coming up with over the past day and a half over the new game. The player models look incredible. They look really, really good over GTA 5. Some of the AI in GTA 5 look kind of dumb and, you know, melty in the face area. There's a couple close-ups of the player, specifically the one where the woman is in the car pointing the gun out the back of the pickup truck. Um, that looks incredible. The detail of the player models looks fantastic. Um, some of the vehicle models look like they're copied from GTA 5, specifically the police cars and a couple other things I saw. I had them in my head yesterday and I thought I wrote them down. I haven't looked at them today yet. Um there's a couple car models that were copied over, but I 100% presume that these are placeholders. Um they're probably placeholders that are being used to develop stuff like the car animations, the getting in and out of the car animations, probably some of the physics. They're trying to. My thought is that they're porting the whole car, not just like the model of the car, but they're porting the whole car from GTA 5 and trying to remake that in the new game engine as trying to copy and iterate on top of the old one. So like the driving example, just imagine like the sound or the handling of like the Zentorno. So the Zentorno they could bring over, copy, try to match the feeling and all that, and then put that in the new game. Um, Controversial. This is my next step. The map is not exactly Vice City. I do not think that the new map is going to 100% be a carbon copy of Vice City. The working theory that I have is because a few shots, specifically of the player sitting in the back of the pickup truck being chased by the police, and the police car flips, like hits a curb and flips up in the air. There's a couple of shots of the minimap that do not match anything from the original Vice City map at all. There is no street. I have combed the entire map. I own the game. I have combed the entire map. There is nothing that matches that map. Now, my theory running right now is that I have a couple of I have a handful of thoughts. Number one is that they're going to completely rework Vice City from the ground up, make it larger, and take a lot of cues and hints from the original and bring it over into the new one, but have a completely new map. I hope that they don't just make an HD remake of Vice City, because Vice City was not that big. I hope that it is bigger than GTA 5. So think about this, what I just said. Think about this in terms of what they did for GTA 5. San Andreas never looked like it did in GTA 5. In GTA 5, they took San Andreas and completely reworked it from the ground up. They took a lot of hints and cues from the original the GTA San Andreas, but they remade the state of San Andreas to fit GTA 5. My next thought, continuing from what I just said, is that Vice City will be reworked to be the entire lower portion of Florida. So it will be a large map with a lot of coastal cities, vaguely copying Florida. The center of the map will be mainly swamp, like, South Florida. Mainly swamp. It'll probably go from Miami, so Vice City, it'll probably go from Miami all the way up to Tampa on the west coast of Florida, and it'll go up to Orlando. Orlando will be the north end of the island, because, it'll be an island so that they can surround it with water, so they don't have to worry about invisible walls. The north end of the island will be Orlando, and then they will have the ability to make a fake Disney World. I think that is the biggest thing right now. I hope so much. I really really hope that they make the map big enough to include Orlando, and they make a fake Disney World, because that would be so fantastic. I would love that so much. I hope it's not a tiny little itty bitty park, like it's one building and like a parking lot. Like, I hope that they make like the size of Disney World. And maybe that'll be a you know, like um, online thing. It'll be the you know, the adventure park or whatever the hell they call it, the Disney World update, where you get to buy a penthouse and you complete a bunch of missions and stuff like that. So, oh, I just blah, amazing theory. So I'm gonna come back to this, and then I'll talk about I'll come back to what I just thought about when I finish my next thought. Um, I think that the way it's gonna work, they're going to release GTA 6 standalone as the campaign only. They will release the game, let it stay for a year and a bit, maybe a year and a half, maybe 2 years. They're going to milk GTA 5 online for as long as they physically can. They're going to try to milk every single ounce of money out of it, and then and then add GTA 6 online. Because everyone will dump GTA 5 to play GTA 6. So they can't release both online services at the same time, because GTA 5 will just become a graveyard until it comes to the new one. So what I just thought about, what my epiphany just was on that last thought, is that theory, again, not confirmed, theory. If it includes a fake Disney World in the campaign, the park will be dilapidated and broken down, and, you know, it won't even be built yet. It'll be like under construction. And then in the online, it'll have just opened, and just like the casino, kind of, you will go, you will get a job, and you will complete missions to open like rides and stuff. That's my big brain theory that I have. Um, it looks incredible. The lighting looks incredible. The graphics look incredible. They have said that more buildings will have interiors, unlike the last game. I am really, absolutely 110% excited for this. Hopefully, for God's sake, it's not limited by the abilities of the PS5 and Series X. The leaks are somewhat leading people to believe that it was released on PC, or that it would be released on PC at the same time. Like, it'll be released on all three at the same time. Why would you make a game limited by console if you're going to also release it on PC? I understand teens and kids have only consoles because usually they can only afford that. But nowadays it's making more sense to young gamers and teenagers to build PCs, gaming PCs, rather than consoles. Especially with online access, subscriptions. You have to pay for like Xbox Live and PlayStation Access, whatever the hell PlayStation's called. I feel like the only reason they will release it on console is to meet the needs of the very niche younger community that don't have PCs. But huge, gigantic issue. If they release it only on console, from the start, if it only is released on console, there is a huge amount of people that cannot play the game. If they only release it on console, then a ton of people that own gaming computers can't play the game. But the other way around, if they only release it on PC, there's a ton of younger people that can't play the game because it's on PC. So I think that they have to do it on all three at the same. It's the only thing that makes sense to me, is that it would have to be released on all three at the same time, because otherwise they're losing out on a ton of money. I have a 360, which I only really use for nostalgia, but I only play games on my PC now. I don't have a console that I play games on anymore. So, I don't know. I am very, 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 very excited. I will play it. I will play through the story mode. I will stream that, as will everyone else in the entire world. So I'll kind of, dissolve under everyone else. But whatever. I'll do it anyway. I'm excited. Hopefully the rest of the community seems to be as well, because I fucking hate Grand Theft Auto 5 online at this point. I've spent so much money on it. Yes, I've bought stuff, but I've spent so much time and so much money, and it's just the hackers and the people who fly oppressors. Like, I just want to play the game and have cool stuff. I don't care about killing other players and stuff. I just want to drive around and complete missions and buy stuff. Like, I never interact with other players in online at all. Last thing I want to talk about, and this is completely off the track of what the hell we just talked about. State of Virginia, where I live, new Department of Education guidelines were put out for students who are transgender, and I am so fucking pissed because this stupid ass Republican governor, who is a MAGA moron, is trying to erase the existence of the LGBTQ community. And I am so pissed. And I put out a fucking angry ass tweet about this, and I hope to fucking God that Youngkin looks at it. I'm pissed. Basically, he's banning trans students from being trans in school. And that makes me so pissed, because that doesn't make any sense. You are literally deleting the existence of an entire community of people. And it forces schools to only allow students to participate in activities that align with their biological sex. It only allows students to be called by their legal name and referred to by their legal pronouns, which is fucking garbage. The only way that the state says that can go around this is if permission is given to the school otherwise by the parents, the people who, are the least supportive of trans children. Why would you do that? Why? I do not, as a citizen of this fucking state, when I have children, and if my children come out to me as trans, I will go through every fucking loophole and sign every goddamn piece of paper that this motherfucking infinitesimally tiny insect forces me, as a legal resident of this state, to sign for my children to feel safe in a public school, I will sign and do everything I can for that to happen. I am so waiting for the next election cycle to try to vote the fucking shit out of this guy out of office. Because I am so fucking pissed. And I spoke to this about Kauai, and obviously she lives with me. We're both Virginia residents. I sent her the pissy fucking news. We are both pissed. A public hearing of comment for the new guidelines opens in a couple days. It's open for 30 days. We are 100% driving to Richmond and speaking our fucking thoughts to Youngkin himself. I will record that. Please look forward to that because I am pissed. This is the most pissed I have been in a very long time because you are fucking with the security and comfort and inclusion of a child in a public school. I would understand if it was a private school because they run by different rules and the people who put their children in private schools are morons. But public schools should be inclusive. You're literally not including a child which you are claiming to serve in your public school. I don't understand how any human being with any higher brain logical thinking can think that excluding a child and making them not feel included is of any way the correct response to anything. I don't understand how this idiotic, moronic human being woke up one day, scribbled drunken thoughts onto a piece of paper, handed it to someone in the education department, and it became the new guidelines of the school. I do not understand. How did this occur to where an entire minority of people is just erased from existing? How do you just do that? How do you wake up in the morning and just allow that to happen without thinking about the human beings that are in that minority of people that you've just erased from existing in your public schools? How do you logically, in good conscience, do that to a child of someone who lives in your state? This piece of garbage is not serving the people that he swore to serve as governor of this fucking state. That is why we are so wanting to leave Virginia and move somewhere else. Somewhere north, somewhere that's not as fucking conservative and bullshit as this state. Because the fucking people that are in charge want to delete any infinitesimal existence of diversity or inclusion of anyone who has a different ideological belief than they do. I do not understand how a good conscious human being without any moral indication to deleting an existence of a community. I can only expect the only way that makes sense is malice. There is no proper way to explain why this happened. It is a human right to be included because we are humans. That child who you've erased the existence of from being a trans child, you have erased their existence. No. I will not fucking stand for this. I fucking hate Youngkin, but this is the one thing so far that he's done that has gotten me the most pissed over everything else that he's done. And I'm sorry to lay all that on you. That was very heavy. I am sorry to lay all that on you in a stream that I've just talked about cars, electric vehicles, and then a new game. But it is so vitally important to let Garbage fucking human beings like this know that you can't just erase the existence of someone and expect them to go away. You can't just do that. You can't just ignore the existence of someone and think that that solves your preconceived hatred of that human being. So, fuck Glenn Youngkin. Fuck the governor of Virginia. That's it. I'm out. Subscribe to my socials. I'm pissed. Subscribe to my socials. Catch me next Monday. I'll probably be doing City Skylines here in the next couple days. New series. Fun stuff. Look for that. Add me on Twitter. Join my Discord. We have some fun there. There's no one in it. But for the love of God, please join my Discord because if people actually join it, then people will want to have a reason to join it. So, yes, there's no one in there, but join it and let's make a community. I love all of you. I'm sorry for the heavy-handed, weight of stuff I just put on you. I love you all. I'm gonna go take a nap. I love all of you. Have a good night. I'll see you next time. Bye.